Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It was my intention today to bring you guys two wonderful, amazing gentlemen. Fortunately, they could not be here today, so instead I got Infantry Inc. and Himoth.
Yo,
Backups. The B team.
back up.
More like C.
Uh,
It's fine.
What's up, fellas?
nothing
What up,
much,
dude?
nothing much.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah,
man.
thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for being here, man. So, gentlemen, it's been an interesting couple of days.
I was about to say it's been a eventful couple days, hasn't it?
Especially, yeah,
How
yeah,
you guys
definitely.
feeling? What's what happened? What could possibly have happened?
Yeah, you want to walk the people through it, Himoth? I think you're probably closest to the source here.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we launched our newest, the official UC mod yet last night. It's something that since we've been spited over a couple times by a certain different mod, which I won't mention the name of, but we've been spied over by them a couple times. That's when we just like sat down and thought, okay, how can we make this mod unique to us, the best online playability, the best community there is. So we thought, okay, we can make our own mod. And massive thanks to Board. He did so much work on this and for doing all the HUD stuff, including yeah, I know there's a few bugs right now about a certain random person popping up on the background of the menu screen. And yeah, but the biggest thing about this, and it's kind of like my baby, is the custom movesets. That's the thing I'm most proud about.
Fully
Yeah,
Fully,
custom.
yeah, fully
for
custom.
those people that don't know anything about any previous mods or anything, somebody that's just that maybe had played you Undisputed 3 or maybe has never even played it at all. You want to kind of explain what that means exactly, Himoth?
Yeah, of course. So before this update, everyone, no matter the modding community, no matter what, only thought it was possible to clone movesets, right? Like, say I want to put like Leon Edwards moveset on, like, say, like, I don't know, like Mirko Krokop. Like, we only thought that'd be possible. But I did a bit of digging, I actually tried to. This actually all came about by me trying to find a faster way to actually clone the movesets. I found, oh, what if I just piecemeal this? Would that have any effect on anything? And so what I did a test using Tony Ferguson, made a few changes on his striking and clinches, but and sure enough, full. That's how I discovered fully custom movesets are not possible. So as of right now in this release, every single UFC current champion has a fully custom moveset. That means like not all of it is coming from the base fighter. Like not all of it is coming from like Mirko Krokop. Like say you can have a Mirko Krokop's clinch and like Heath Heath Herring's stand up and like Anderson Silva's ground game. That is now what is possible, and that just unlocked a whole entire new world of possibilities for us.
Yeah, so
It's
if
basically
I if
putting pieces of a puzzle together instead of putting a whole puzzle and just swapping it. No more copy and pasting a whole base. Now we get to pretty much put the pieces of things together and copy like the strengths of this, the strengths of that, the strengths of this onto a character.
yeah, and
Exactly.
if I may just for a second, if people are having difficulty kind of even understanding, because I know this is a lot of technical stuff for some people. So, but say for example, you had a character like Brock Lesnar before, right? And you're like, well, Brock Lesnar is great, but I'm kind of tired of playing Brock Lesnar. Wouldn't it be cool if I had Bobby Lashley in this game, or if I had Tom Aspinall, for example? He's a modern guy. You basically before what we were doing is we could do a reskin. We could take a texture that somebody created of Tom Aspinall and put his skin over top of Brock Lesnar's body and existing moveset. It is, and is that kind of just it's like Tom Aspinall is wearing or Brock Lesnar's wearing Tom Aspinall's skin. Is that kind of accurate with what we had before?
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
So now basically what this allows us to do is before obviously characters have they've got a striking move set, they've got a ground move set, they've got clinch move sets, and they've got offense and defense of both of those. They have top and bottom positions of all those. We can basically kind of take striking from one character and put them on take one character striking and put them with the grappling of another character, put them with wrestling of a different character, or put them with the clinching of a different character. Is that kind of my understanding?
Exactly. That's exactly
Yep.
the case.
So, and what's really blown my mind with this, especially Himoth, is how fast all this came together and how smooth everybody is working together on this thing. You want to talk a little bit about what the last couple of days have been like once you made this discovery?
Once I made this discovery, I know everyone just had like a bit of excitement behind it. But then I think I was the one who created the thread just so we can document who we won on exactly each fighter. So then I had like a bit of input from you, a bit of input from Ham, a bit of input from Dizzy, a bit of input from Shooter, and all that. A bit of input for Skull. He really helped me make some of the newer ones we are hoping to drop with the next update. And we put all that together. I started crafting it up, making sure the file sizes worked because that's another big thing that won't make anyone too overpowered in a sense. Like the file size limits you of what they can have. Like for example, we probably couldn't have a moveset, even though someone would love it on Kimbo Slice, who's currently sitting in this channel on mute. Of like GSP striking, Silva's clinch, and like Bustamante grounding. Like I don't think that's possible unless we find a way to naturally increase the file sizes. So like we had to do all that, but then once that came into place, it was just a matter of just basically copy and pasting. And then once we got all the champs move sets done, like I personally, like I was like, okay, I know I can do more than this. So I just sat down and started working on the next update stuff, which I'm putting it out there. It's going to be each UFC division's current top five rankings from 10 to 2024. Each all have a custom moveset from Umar Nurmagomedov to Alexander Rakic to Jack Della Maddalena. All of them have custom movesets, and Michelle Pereira, because I know people have been asking for that.
Mainly me.
Yeah, mainly you.
Mainly me. I listen. I just love. I love capoeira. So like just having someone who does a little bit of that, and any in MMA mainly, it gives me a nice little thing of looking at Eddie from Tekken in MMA somehow. So if I could, have input or just throw out there and hound him like, hey, he's got to have like some wild shit because that's how he is in the ring. Like, it's fuck it. It's gonna be fun, exciting when you see the fights and you see someone really try to replicate that and maybe get a knockout or get knocked out. It's gonna be
Exactly.
worth it. It's gonna be worth it.
Exactly.
And how did we pronounce that word again? Infantry, the martial art.
Capoeira.
Yeah, you say it way better than I say it.
Yeah, yeah. You
Uh,
get people who say capoeira,
Yeah,
or some,
capoeira.
yeah, yeah. Maybe my Hispanic side's coming out, but from what I, watching movies like Only the Strong and loving capoeira in general, it was always just capoeira.
Yeah, and I think you got to say Michelle Pereira is the closest thing we've got to Eddie in the UFC.
Yeah, right now, at least who's
a
like
thousand
made an
percent.
impact. I mean, I know there was I don't even remember the guy's name. I know there was, a couple other who showed flashes of it. Maybe it was just one kick or something coming up from, ground to stand. They did that fucking heavy kick, because it was like a whole sports science thing to it about how it generates like so much force. But that's mainly because how they're able to use their body momentum to into the kick, but it's not really useful for like something like MMA. So when you have someone actually pull it off, it's like holy shit. Or you have someone who's as wild as he is, and maybe not get disqualified and actually win fights. Yeah, like it's gonna be exciting as shit.
Yeah, for him to have the bravery to try out what, at least what our eyeballs are seeing as these risky maneuvers. To him, they're probably not so risky because he's got confidence because he
Yeah.
trains them so often and he knows how capable he is with them. But man, it's real easy just to take what other people are doing and kind of get good at that. But man, that guy is just completely he's throwing all that shit out the window and doing his own thing.
Yeah, if you see the martial art itself, like just how they move and just how they look so weightless. They make it seem so crazy to have that much body control. You even try to have that type of, bravery to show that in an octagon. Like, dude, I'm not saying that's gonna make you a champion, but like it's gonna make you for sure exciting if you're able to like translate that well and actually pull it off. So
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that that was actually a slave martial art.
yeah,
Brazil actually had way more slaves than America even did, and they weren't allowed to practice martial arts, so they had to kind of disguise it as a dance that they were doing. And
yep.
man, how that's why I mean it's kind of half dance, half martial arts. So that's why it's so beautiful to watch it.
Yeah, it has a crazy
Yeah.
story. There's not many depictions of it in good lighting, or even in mainstream in general. That's why I referenced the movie Only the Strong. That was like a '90s, I think it was like early '90s movie that came out with Mark Dacascos that had a good showcasing of capoeira, um, and showed how it showed it in like a more beautiful sense. Yeah, it was glorified because it had like the '90s vibes and music and soundtrack, so it's very nostalgic. But it did do the art justice. They even made a very famous capoeira uh, music or soundtrack very mainstream at the time. So imagine if Spotify was around back then, like that would have been, making waves, and it's a more traditional type of song, that only those who, maybe those in Brazil would be doing
Oh wow,
for
so
for capoeira
it
itself.
has its own music that goes along with it too.
Yeah, yeah, because remember it's disguised as a dance, and the slaves had to pretend that they weren't training and all that.
Yeah,
So it almost think of it like how tribes have these like tribalistic dance, like you have the
yeah, like the
haka
hakas
for
and all that.
yeah, exactly. So they have one themselves, and they have this instrument that kind of sounds weird. It's like wow, 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 wow. It's really weird sounding, but like if you hear it all, it's it's crazy. It's like you're like looking back in time and looking at these tribes like make music and do stuff, and they look like they're dancing, but they're doing capoeira in front of you, and they're like almost kicking each other. They're standing so close to each other and still spinning and throwing their leg out and just not hitting each other. And it's beautiful how much control they got, and it goes really, really well with music. Like that's what I'm saying. If Spotify was around back then for it to make mainstream waves, like that shit would have been way more popular, at least enough to where like you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I know some people really don't. But again, only the strong. Go watch it. Educate yourself.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting because like the Brazilian slaves were responsible there for capoeira and then that music that corresponds with it. And in America, it was a lot of like the Mandingo fighting and that kind of thing. And then the jazz and all that kind of went along with it. So it's kind of crazy how such a dark thing can be responsible for such badass art forms.
Yeah, for sure. And there's probably a lot more wild stories, but for different martial arts. But how that translate into like the modern day fighting that we see, we won't know until we see it and educate ourselves.
Well, I guess we should kind of switch back to the mod thing again. So now, one thing with this mod, I think people are going to notice immediately is, man, there's been a lot of texture things that are different on this. Is not just with the characters, but also with the menus and everything. Himoth.
Yeah, yeah. All that is thanks to Board. Board put in amazing work with all of that stuff.
Yeah, I actually noticed something in the background. In one of the stages, there's like a flag draped over something. And you see, or I think it's the training area. I'm not sure, but I even saw a UUC logo on the thing in the background. And I was like, oh, how do you get it over there? Like,
He's a mad scientist, dude. It's crazy.
to
Yeah,
have it in the
definitely.
background and then the UI stuff, like, man, that's amazing. That's so cool.
Yeah, and this just last couple of weeks with all this, dude, just to see how many people have just come together collectively and worked on something so cool together and just for the greater good of the scene and for the product to be good, you know what I mean? And I'd use that word product like loosely. It's not, it doesn't cost anything, but it's just like we were all just working our butts off on getting this thing collective. And so we had board working on a lot of like these texture things, and it was like everybody kind of knew where they were strong, and they kind of attacked that. And it's like I could have been in trying to help people do textures and shit, but I'm not very good at that. I would have probably made a mess of things, but it's like board's like, nah, I got that. You know what I mean? Or and Himoth is really good at a lot of the kind of stuff he's doing with the move swaps and stuff. And we all suck at video editing, turns out. So we kicked that off to my man Infantry Inc. That happens to be here with us, and he helped us out with that badass trailer that he made.
Yeah, I want to do that as quickly as possible because you guys were moving really fast. Like you said, like in only the matter of days. What was it? 4 days you had stuff moving. So four to
Yeah,
five days since you put it out there in the universe. Like things got rolling so quickly. So I was like, all right. So I'm just taking my time gathering footage. I'm waiting for the stuff. You know, I was able to get like access to it just because I gotta showcase it. So like I need to show something. Once I put it all together, I was like, I might be able to, like you saw me. You were there when I was finishing
Yep.
up. I was like, I might be able to finish this today. Like it's pretty easy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did
it's a
some research on dates, and it took us officially 1 week from when Frank, you said the fact that we should release an official UC thing. We said it in the channel we were using to document what like all like the move swapping stuff said. You said, hold up, we need to put out an official release and have industry make us a release video. You said that on 9/25 and released it on 10/2. So it took us 1 week to get everything done, switched, and all that. So talk about
Hmm.
time. We did great time on all that.
and not to mention, but you already have the next update ready. And you had that ready
Yep.
like last night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did. I think I had it ready damn near before we put out the actual release.
And
yeah. He was working on it.
that's what people don't understand, dude. Like the hardest thing about what I'm doing really is having to like pick strategically when to push the pause button on the official thing because it's literally like drinking from a fire hydrant. It's like as soon as we get something ready to go, it's like there's already another thing that's almost like it's like 90% ready, and it's like, well, how long do I wait? You know, I mean, I gotta release things at some point, and it's been
Hmm.
like this because for those of you that are new here, we've been an online league for it'll be a year in February that we've really been active. We've done I think like probably 80 live events, 40 of our tentpole events, but we've been doing our own roster because there's other mods out there and stuff, but the thing is they kind of more focus on individual fighters and they kind of more form over function. They want things to like look a certain way and the stats aren't really balanced, you know. We have to have things really balanced here because we're running a competitive league. So it's been very challenging, especially for Himoth and I because we've been really picking on okay, how much do we put into their stats versus how does that affect their move set? Plus we not only do MMA, we do MMA, bare knuckle boxing and Muay Thai. So it's like a person could potentially be overpowered in Muay Thai, but maybe not in MMA. So there's like all these different things we've got to think about. And like these guys just put these badass characters models and these stat updates and stuff out so fast where I'm like, okay, it looks like we're good. We're gonna roll with this and we're gonna rock with this for season one. And I'll post an announcement like, okay, season one is ready. This is the or you know season three's ready. This is the roster we're going with. And like by the time I hit submit, I got like 10 messages from people
Yeah.
like from him out to bless him like no hold up a minute man I got this badass new model and they all look fucking sick you know what I mean and I'm like well shit like you know I already sent the thing saying that we're at least gonna have to wait till like mid-season to throw that shit in there so it's just been it's been such a blessing.
Yeah, just having minds come together like that. First of all, I thrive for this stuff because so many people look at things very competitively when it doesn't need to be.
Right.
And this is like what I described, like how dev teams like form to even get together and do something they're passionate about. Like we're all passionate about this shit. It costs nothing, but for us, it costs us our time that we can't get back.
Right.
Um, and even me, in my opinion, I'm not doing much. Like you guys are doing the hard work. You got the mad scientist over here, fucking Himoth, you know, laughing and "Oh, what can I make here? Yeah, you know, and just going crazy. And I'm just like,
Exactly.
I see what's there. You know, I got the early access, and then even I'm like in the middle of me editing, I'm like, because I'm like the Jamie of the group, right? So I'm like just looking at presentation and how it's gonna be presented, and if I see something off, I'm gonna spot it out or give like input on like, hey, we should have this, or hey, I can make this look good, or how hard is it for you to edit a file that's already done for the thing that you're gonna release? Like, is it hard? Because I have a recommendation of putting this together, and like Frank, you saw me, I got another logo for the selection screen of the mode. Um, like I input, so like I could imagine other people having input and doing stuff, and then him is just bouncing back and forth creating characters and then going, yeah, I'll take that into consideration. It's beautiful. I love this shit.
When I can tell you too, it was only like a month ago Himoth even opened up a fucking file of any of this shit. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, it wasn't
this
that long ago. I remember
Yep.
that.
yeah, it
Yep.
wasn't very long ago
Yep.
at all. Like, you know, it was like, man, wouldn't it be cool if we updated these stats and Himoth's like, I'll figure out how to do it real quick. And then it was like 2 days later, fucking Himoth had mastered all this shit.
I don't know what experience you got him with, but my God.
None.
Like,
It's literally just I literally had no experience like coding or anything coming into this shit.
yo, it's crazy too because in the video edits, something that you guys see, and I hope to continue for a little bit. Some of the things I've been doing is using like a matrix effect, and I've been changing it to red to really match the UUC look. And I like using that because no joke, as Himoth is working on stuff, I'm in my mind, he's looking at a computer with the matrix code falling down and working like his magic. Like, have you ever seen those movies? They're over here just watching a screen full of binary and going, "Oh no, he's in trouble." Like, what do you see? You see
Right.
just raining. What? How do you know that? How do you read the matrix? Himoth is somehow reading the matrix, and he just said that he doesn't know coding and shit. How is he doing this? Like, he's he's reading the matrix. He might be the one. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's insane, man, and like
Who
how
knows
how
at
in
this
how
point?
how in tune they are with their move sets and everything. I'm like, dude, I don't know how the fuck you guys keep up with that shit. I'm like, I've been playing this game. I was an alpha tester on it. I mean, I've been playing this game longer than fucking anybody probably, and I'm like, they're like, oh no, I really liked it before when it had George Roop's jab or whatever. I'm like, dude, I don't even know the fucking difference between any of this shit, but it's cool as fuck that you guys do.
It's it's fucking wild, man. It's also like him knowing the ins and outs of it. I don't even want to fight you ever. Like, you're gonna know everything. I just don't want to like
Nah,
just all
nah.
right. I'll tap out.
To be honest, like I just like base like I've also been like playing like a lot of like even like when we have like all like the mods on the Xenia, like of course like I like go back and like play base games just to, like kind of get a sense like before we even knew any of this moveset swap and stuff like to know like who has what and like what who goes over what slots and like what movesets they have. So that's how I was kind of like in tune with all of that. Even though I started playing way later than either of you guys. I first
Yeah.
started back in SFC back in like I think it was like April, no,
Yeah,
like
you
June
were not a very good player
2022
for the
was when I
longest
started
time.
playing.
You didn't even get good till I'd say
Yeah,
like halfway through season two.
once I have like, I think, I think my big first big win was the Kian fight for Camp Wars.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. Yeah, I mean, because we were all in camps in the SFC days and stuff, and I was like, okay, we got Himoth
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
up,
yeah.
no big deal, you know what I mean? That's how we
I'm,
treated it.
I, I always wonder how serious my like career would have changed. Is I remember in the SFC I had two camp offers, one from Job and one from you, and I ended up going with Job and joining what turned up to be Emerald Tree with like Sun, Job, 407 Eli, who I really wish would come back.
Yeah,
407 was
same. I miss
so
that
fun
dude.
to fight.
Just slapped them too hard.
Oh, look at
Oh, look
that.
who snuck the fuck in here.
I've been in here for a while.
Yeah,
Ladies
he's
and
been listening to
gentlemen,
our
it
shit.
is the one, the only Skull Tally.
Skull likes to watch.
Jesus Christ.
Every hotel room's got a skull tally chair, folks.
Hey, they call it a SkullTank for a reason, man.
Yeah.
The tank is
Hell
I'm on
yeah.
the other side of the tank.
How's things out in your world, bro? You guys didn't get no storm action, did you?
Nah, man, just a little rain. We didn't get much
Nah,
from
nothing much.
whatever you guys got. You guys had it worse.
Dude, I hardly got anything specifically where I'm at. I got so lucky. There's people in my county that got really fucked, but I didn't get anything at all. I didn't even knock my trash can over.
I
Yeah.
didn't get shit up in
Because
New
I know I
York,
hit up.
so I'm good.
Yeah, we got like rain, but that's about it. I know the Big Ben got hit really hard. And like Western North Carolina. Like I keep on seeing damage photos from all that stuff.
Yeah, I got
And
family
I'm pretty
over
sure
in
like yeah, like Quelly
Asheville.
lives out that way. Quelly lives out that way. So like
Yeah, I'm sure he's having a hell of a time then.
I'm just
Uh,
glad everyone's internet is holding up, man.
yeah,
yeah.
samesies. Have you got to mess around with the mod yet, Skull? Or did he leave us?
Oh, sorry, I've been muted myself there, so you don't hear me typing. No, not yet. I will tomorrow.
I actually have a question for him. If
Oh my God, somebody really trying to put him in there? No, don't put that man in that game.
Oh my God, you're looking at Hollywood shit. You're looking at Hollywood shit.
You saw what I'm seeing right in the mod chat, Frank.
Yeah,
Hold on a second. Let me see.
we need him.
Oh no, no,
Don't
no.
put him.
I don't think we can compute that amount of percentages, guys.
Oh my God.
No. Can you imagine? Can
One,
you imagine if you
142
put
and
him in the Steiner
142.
recliner?
Yeah, I think the way I see it is you got about a 0.25% chance of him getting in the
Steiner
game, and
math.
then
Here we go. Here we
Oh,
go.
You
here
know
we
what?
go.
He actually could have been really good at MMA if he stuck to like, cause he has like accolades. He
oh
could have
yeah,
done it.
legit wrestler, man.
Yeah, yeah. And he fits in with some of the stories I've read. He definitely fits in with some of the psychos at MMA.
Yeah, a lot of people like he was one of the people like nobody fucked with that dude.
Yeah, yeah. I would have seen him and Tank Abbott fight for real. That would have been fun. I think Tank maybe knock him out, but then again, I heard Scott just killed everyone backstage too. Only
But
And
one
I,
that only one he was frightened of was Ron Simmons.
yeah, Ron Simmons was a bad motherfucker, dude.
Damn.
He beat the shit out of Ahmed Johnson. Everybody said.
Oh well.
He did that in the ring though. I think he just completely went stiff as fuck on that dude.
yeah,
So
I just
confirmed, we're getting
compiled
Ron Simmons in the game.
Ron Simmons. Bam.
Yeah, I'll pin
Damn.
that for you. I saw what you just wrote.
Yeah, those are other names I'm looking to do next.
So going back to the mod stuff here, I got a question for Himoth.
Go.
With what you can talk about that you want to talk about now or save for later, what would you like what's the next step, right? Like we have the release, we know you have the rest of the stuff you were working on with the top 10s, but
Top fives are all done.
top 5s,
Next
okay, so
next
then
step next step is top tens and legends. I want to throw the legends in with the top tens because I know people want to use like accurate and fun boss region and stuff, an accurate and fun like RDA and stuff, an accurate and fun Anthony Smith. Like I feel like all those are important. So once I get the top tens done, I'm probably just gonna hammer out the rest of all the characters we have.
Yeah, let's get Tank Abbott in there. Let's sneak him in.
Thank
Get him,
Abbott.
Derek
yeah.
Even
Russo's
Bob
block.
Sap striking.
Oh, Board's in
By
the
the
chat
way,
right now.
board's in the
What's up,
chat. Yeah,
Board?
I was just gonna say, I just saw board type.
He's awake.
Madman.
Oh
We
yeah, it's
should
gonna happen, man. I
we should
told Hollywood,
probably
let's do it.
we should probably touch on real quick another huge difference with this particular mod versus mods that people have released in the past is the emulator that we're running.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, man. Fucking Xenia
Xenia.
Yeah,
Canary.
so
Xenia, yeah, Xenia is way
Yeah.
slicker than RS whatever.
Yeah, whatever
RS
it's
has so
called.
many fucking problems, it's not even funny.
so
The amount of
for those of you
crashes.
at home that don't even know what the hell we're talking about, right? So there's previous mods have all been based around an emulator called RPCS3, and it's a PlayStation 3 emulator, and the mods have all been based around the PlayStation 3 version of the game. And it's got some advantages and disadvantages. The advantages, I think there are if you get everything kind of like perfectly dialed in, the game runs pretty stable and has very minor flaws in it, I guess, for all intents and purposes. Downside of it is, man, the files are ginormous. Like PlayStation 3 games, they one of the things they did to combat piracy was they just deliberately made the files unnecessarily big. So the same game on Xbox might be 5 gigs, and on PS3 it might be a 30 gig game, and it's just complete bloat on the actual file system itself. So it's no fun downloading 30 gig games all the time for PlayStation games. So this I think this thing clocks in around like what 7 gigs total, right? Himoth with that.
No lower than 8 gigs with everything already pre-installed in the package.
Right, that's got the DLC. It's got everything ready to rock. And one thing about Xenia 2 is it mainly uses your GPU to power everything versus PlayStation mainly uses your CPU. So it can kind of bog stuff down, especially if you're running Parsec and trying to play online. For this, you guys don't know what Parsec is basically. a thing that lets you play games online that were never meant to be online compatible. It's kind of it kind of just tricks your controller into thinking like, oh, I'm the player two controller, but actually it's somebody in a different location that's just signed into your Parsec account and it's spoofing your controller. So it allows you to play online games and it works quite well. And that's what we built our league around. So this
It's
is
similar.
yeah, Xenia is just it's way easier to get in and out of. You just open it up, close it, no problem. I've used both of them extensively. I will say RPCS3 can be it can be okay, but man, it's kind of a pain in the ass to live with, man. Like I've had plenty of times where I've had everything working great, and I'll go to load it up one day, and some stupid shit'll happen. It'll just decide to lock up for no reason, or it'll close, or it'll decide to automatically update even though I told it not to. I've had a
Or
lot
the
of weird
shaders
stuff happen.
compile
Exactly.
forever.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
shaders like to compile
jingling.
for 10 minutes sometimes when you try to load shit, and it's just kind of a chore to live with, and if you want it makes for some pretty pictures, if you're trying to put out a mod and you want it to like look as cool as it can look, like yeah, you can get some pretty cool screenshots taken off RPCS3 for our particular needs, and for I'd say a lot of casual players particular needs. I think Xenia is the way to go. It does you do occasionally have some little graphical glitches and stuff, especially if you're trying to do career mode and stuff. It's not going to be for you because the career mode is definitely going to glitch out. But man, if you just like to play matches, a lot of matches, and you like to play online specifically, you can't even go wrong with Xenia. It's the only way to go in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah, totally. I only ever use RPCS3 for the one purpose of sometimes I'm just bored out of my ass and just want to play like a quick career mode or something.
Yeah, it used to be the only thing that had mods available, and our man Codeine was amazing enough to where he was able to get the mods going on Xenia because before, at least largely, most people didn't think that they were possible to work on Xenia. But whatever he did to get him going, he got him working on Xenia, and they've worked largely fantastic for us.
Man, I don't know the people who play on the PS3 emulator. I don't. Maybe I just have the wrong settings, but I've never been able to do career mode, so I just haven't messed with that at all.
It takes if you like tinkering with knobs and settings and shit. I mean, RPCS3 is your shit, man. If you like to have the other pain in the ass too is like if you have another person join on Parsec, a lot of times you got to like reconfigure the controllers and shit. Like
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah,
pain in the
so
it can be a
annoying.
pain in the ass. And Xenia, I mean, like that's especially like when we're trying to do live shows, it just adds downtime between matches, man. And we're trying to get as many matches as we can get, and then like a sub 2 hour show. It's like, dude, we ain't got time to be fucking with all the controller things. We need Xenia just pops in to have the person jump in, grab it, and it works the way it's supposed to do automatically.
Exactly.
Now, I guess my next question is I asked Himoth what's next for his side of things. Frank, what's next in your head? What you got brewing up there that you're willing to share? Like, what do you see, or where do you see UC going next?
Well, I just want to make this game. My goal with doing the league at all, and just my involvement in the scene in general, is I just want to get new blood in to have them playing this game, because I think there's just a lot of people, especially young people, man. I mean, how this game is, what, 12 years old now, something like that. A lot of people, say you're like a 17-year-old or something, like you were 5 years old when this game came out. You probably didn't even know it existed. And there's just been so many trash EA UFC games that have come out where I don't think that people realize, like, hey, there's a badass MMA game, but you probably don't even know it exists, and they're probably not going to play it if the only characters on there are people they've never heard of. You know what I mean? Man, we all love
Yeah.
Don Fry and shit around here because we're hardcores. Some 17-year-old kid has no fucking idea who Don Fry is. He doesn't know who Jason Mayhem Miller. Maybe he does, but probably not. But he does know
Probably for
who
different
these new
reasons.
people are. And so this is able to let us now, not only do the people look like the people, but now we can customize their movesets where they fight like the people too. Like we've discussed with like Michelle Pereira, or we were talking about the amazing Brian T City Ortega that Himoth was able to compile. Like these people actually have the movesets like the fighters now, and it's like these younger people can just jump right in. And another thing I want to do is I want to get it to where people can get as people can get proficient at the game relatively quickly, because I used to think that it took years to get good at this game, and what we've seen now is just through there's a lot more information out there, there, and Discord, everybody's been generous with their knowledge of their skills, and we've had the camps have played a huge part in that. The way our atmosphere, the way we treat people sparring, we don't allow a lot of toxic shit in the spar sessions. I want to treat it the same way that I would treat when I run my martial arts gym. You know what I mean? I don't want mat bullies coming in bullying all the new people. You know what I'm saying? I want to make this
Yeah.
a place where somebody's like, man, I seen this video on TikTok. This looks pretty cool. Maybe I'll try this out, and then they join, and they're welcomed by a bunch of people like you guys, or any of the other cool members we have, where it's like, yeah, come jump in the spars. I'm like, man, I don't know, I don't want to get embarrassed. It's like, no, man, come in here and just join up on this. And so far we've done an amazing job of fostering the next generation of fans of this game, because I think it would be a shame for this game to just fall into nothingness, because this is the greatest MMA game ever made. I think it would be a shame if everybody just
Facts.
forgets that it exists. So I think
Yeah.
the next step is what we're gonna do is the instructional video library, which we've already got some stuff in works with that, because I know Dissy and Nightdown have already recorded a lot of stuff. They did it like a year ago, but it never got released under SFC. So they're gonna hook me up with that, and then I want to have people that have specific skill sets. If Pimp wants to do for example, wants to do a thing on how to set up sneaky submissions, or if Pepsi wants to do something about the pep step, or if Skull wants to do a leg kick thing, or I mean, just whatever, any
Yeah.
kind of sneaky thing that people can add. It's just going to benefit everybody. Just it's not going to benefit anyone if people are stingy with their knowledge. I think the whole scene's going to be better as a whole, and we're going to see some wild ass fights if everybody has everybody's bag of tricks now.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
a good segue on the subject of the videos and helping people out to set up. Me and Himoth are teaming up to make pretty much a longer form of the UUC release, where we will explain like what's different, go more in depth on it, how to install it, very very basic stuff, and bounce back and forth. I'm gonna in the video, it's gonna be longer, so it'll be on YouTube. Technically, it might be on TikTok too, but uh, I will pass it over to him so he can talk himself more in depth on the characters.
Yeah, and that's something I'm really excited for. And to bounce off your point of what was said about posting on TikTok, you can post long form content on
Yep.
TikTok. Like you can post like 10-minute long videos on TikTok, and they don't even have to be like the vertical
Yeah.
point of view that we usually post on TikTok for. They can be on the horizontal 16:9 point of view.
Yep.
And that's where having you guys around is so paramount for somebody like me, because I the only reason I even have a TikTok at all is because of the UUC, and I don't know any of this information. I thought TikTok was only short videos. I'm learning something right now.
Yeah, man. And Instagram as well. Instagram, you can technically the Instagram Reels have been really blowing up, and in my opinion, it's been the algorithm has been a little bit better than TikTok lately. TikTok's been going through a weird thing because politics and all that stuff. So not getting into that, but Instagram Reels have been just as like in your face as TikTok videos used to be. Whether if you're on the platform or not, you probably have someone sending you a reel if you have an Instagram account. Something relatable, and with that, they're not restricted to 1 minute videos either. Like they change their video format to, like, if you post any type of video, it technically gets posted as a reel, and it can be shorter or longer. So that's another platform as well. And man, YouTube Shorts just kick ass.
Yes. It's so
They
strange, isn't
like,
it, how
oh
TikTok and Instagram are getting longer, and then YouTube's getting shorter. It's really
yeah,
kind
it's
of weird.
so. Listen, I don't blame anyone for not knowing this stuff, because truth be told, like, even social media people don't really know it 100%. They just output more stuff to see what works. It's just throwing a bunch of shit at the wall to see what sticks.
Right.
And they see what sticks first because they're so consistent with their uploads, and they if they want to get more into the analytics of things, they'll see it. But then again, like, as someone who's, lived on platforms like that, like, just based off the numbers can be wrong sometimes. Numbers will show that this is the most effective thing. Okay, but then you have the outliers out there. So it's not about just following them and following the trends. It's like, yo, you just got to do it to do it sometimes. Like, sometimes it matters on when you upload, where you upload, but if you just do it all, something's going to land eventually,
Yeah, and that's
so
it's really cool that we've got different options for that kind of information, because there are things that we want to do that are just kind of like jangling keys in front of a baby, like, oh, like we just want to grab people's
yeah.
attention, like with the short one. But it's like it is very hard to explain what UUC is in a 58-second video. It's damn near impossible, because like you have to understand, like we take so much shit for granted, people's understanding of stuff, because me and you, we know Zini is a household name to me, you and Himoth. You know what I mean? A parsec, I mean? It's like, dude, there's 99% of people don't know what any of that shit is. That
Yeah.
most
Yeah,
people have never even
exactly.
seen this game before.
Yeah, I've got partnered friends who haven't even tried Parsec once, and know that Parsec kind of brings back the couch co-op to online, really, and that's what it's all about. And it could be used to kind of help you, help someone out to even set that up. Like, I use Parsec to help you set up stuff, and we could really have a good presentation going on.
Yeah, parsec is an incredible tool, and it blows my mind that more people don't realize it. I actually told an attorney about it, because he was telling me how he's got these calls with his client. He don't even he's looking at one page and his client's looking at another page, and I was like, why don't you use parsec? And he'd never even fucking heard of it. And he's like, well, I don't want him to like be able to get on my computer. I said, no. I was like, it's just completely the screen share thing. I said, he sees what you want him to see. And he's like, really? I mean, he like really had his mind blown. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, this is game change. This could be game changing software for a lot of people.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
even we don't use Parsec to its full potential. I mean, did you know
No.
Parsec had a voice chat and a text channel?
Yeah.
yeah. Me and
Like,
Obas talk shit in the text channel multiple times.
Well, I don't know how long you guys have been using Parsec for, but I've been using it for, I want to say, like 3 or 4
Soda
years
and all that
now.
shit.
Yeah, and did you use Parsec Arcade? Were you around for all that?
Yeah, I was around for all that.
Yeah,
I
Parsec
We
wasn't.
Arcade
played
was
I've
the
retro
heard
games
shit.
a
about
lot.
it.
You could just
I've
basically
heard about it.
that's how I met so many people. How we kind of got this the scene revived a little bit is like that's how I met Hamslinger, Dizzy, a lot of different people. Is I would jump on and I would just basically leave my host open. I'd have my controller, and like whoever wanted to jump in to my particular room, it'd be like, hey, you could search for whatever game, and it's like, okay, this room's got these many people in it. It's kind of like joining a session on or lobby on Call of Duty or something, right? And it's like, okay, oh, this guy's playing this game. Let me jump in. Like I used to jump in occasionally, play Double Dash, Mario Kart with people and stuff on their shit.
Yeah.
And so I would have people jump in, and like most people had never even fucking heard of the game before, but they just come in and start playing around, and like I developed friendships with several of them. I mean, hell, the Yusuf guy that's new to the league, I used to play with him on Parsec Arcade. So many different people that I've met off there, and you get to know them really well, man, because you'll sit there and play games for fucking hours with them, and you could do the text chat and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, we used it mainly for retro games and stuff, and passing controllers, little tournaments that we would have. I call them like triathlons, because like we go through like three different games. One they choose, one you choose, and then one that you both choose to meet in the middle. Makes for a good show and entertainment.
Yeah, do you guys want to even know what me and my friends would have done to have been able to play like Street Fighter 2 or Mortal Kombat online back in the day? Like if we had
Oh my
Parsec, like
god.
that we would have done terrible, terrible things to be able to do that. It's like, yeah, you can do that no problem nowadays. Like no fucking problem at all. Or WWF No Mercy, like holy shit, man.
I've been thinking more and more about stuff like that, man. Don't tempt me.
Yeah, it's like if this game didn't take like 100% of all of our concentrations, it's like
Yeah,
it's like
like,
shit. Yeah, I'd love to do more stuff with other games. It was like, dude, I there's only so many hours in a day.
and eventually I'm even gonna help. Like, my role so far, I want to help with the presentation of things and making stuff easier where it needs to be. I'm telling you, I'm gonna hold this to myself. Really, I'm gonna make you an OBS wizard, man.
Hey, dude, if you can teach my dumb ass how to do all that shit, man, more power to you, man.
Yeah.
'Cause I love it because it's something new and it's strange because I have a degree in computers but man, I got my degree in like 2004. So I mean, a little bit's
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. When was
things
that
are
degree?
different
Like
then.
40 years ago?
yeah,
Using
Oh,
dude.
damn shit.
Macintoshes?
Hey, hey, well,
Like my band, for example, dude, like we recorded a lot of our songs on a fucking Windows 90. Some of our shit we went to an actual studio for, but like some of them we recorded on a Windows 98 PC in a fucking metal
Windows
building in my dad's house.
98.
And we had like a stolen version of the software called Cool Edit Pro. Like it was like this
Cool
shit don't
Edit
even
Pro. That
exist
sounds
anymore,
so
man.
2000s.
It was so fucking old and
LimeWire? No, I'm
janky.
kidding.
The fucking thing would
LimeWire.
it would start overheating and shit. Like it was bad.
Oh man.
Yeah, one time we went to record and then the thing told us that we had to have a password for Windows and shit. We're like, we don't have a password. We just burnt this shit off the internet. Like,
So that song that was in the trailer, that was one of your stuff, right?
yes, sir.
And that was one of the stuff that was recorded back then.
That one was in the studio. We
Oh,
got
okay.
some songs that we recorded in the studio and we've got some that we recorded at the barn. But it'd be interesting to see if you could figure out which ones are from a studio and which ones are not.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
I was gonna say because
considering
that one
what we
sounds
had to
pretty
work
good.
with, dude, those are my Mona Lisas. Considering the shit we had to work with.
Cool
There's
Edit
more
Pro actually still does
emotion.
exist, though. It still
No
does
way.
exist.
No way. You should go back to it one time.
Yeah,
Let's go
record.
back to a record a podcast.
Just for
Yeah.
one. Yeah. Oh man. That'd be great.
Oh man, I don't need any more dumb ideas in my head because I'll do them.
Well, one idea I want to put in your head is a little bit of the next step where I want to kind of push on maybe before or during the next season of UUC, and that is being able to stream to not only just Twitch at first, and then people have to wait for the upload on YouTube, but the ability to stream to both Twitch and YouTube at the same time without needing more bandwidth for streaming on top of doing the parsec stuff.
That was what I was gonna. You answered every question I was gonna have in
Yeah.
your statement right there. That was amazing communication what you did because you already knew I was gonna have those concerns.
Yeah, it takes, I've noticed now from helping you guys out that, that there's just places where I'm like, oh no, like a lot of the backlog, I'm glad you guys put on YouTube because, you have the stuff there, right? That's like the
Right.
video on demand stuff. Um, but Twitch, it has a timer on the past broadcast. What people don't know, especially like if you're newer, is that they technically will save if you save them as a highlight. So you can technically just highlight the whole thing and just save them. So you could have had a library on Twitch as well. So I've been
Oh, no
doing
way.
that recently. Yeah, I've been doing that recently to all the stuff. So if you notice now, if you guys look at the UUC on Twitch, you'll see more of a backlog that dates back to like 30 something. I believe even some of the exhibitions there are still there. They're not they're technically are expiring, but there's now like a separate video for them called the highlight, and I've been saving all the stuff there so that way if you guys don't want to wait for them to upload it on YouTube, you could just watch it on the past broadcast or highlight on Twitch.
You're
Yeah,
kidding me.
um
Yeah, I had
yeah, I'm
no
looking
idea
at
of
those
any of
right
that.
now. I see Blood Gods.
yeah.
I see Triumph. I see us going all the way back to UC 36.
Yeah. So that's I've been able to use that to go back and clip stuff because like even me when I had to make the clips myself, which I gotta say for those of you listening, if you're in the UUC, take your asses to the Twitch and like clip some moments, man. Shit, you're in it. Clip your moments too. If you have a fight, clip your moments, and then I will use them in clips and you'll see them put on the YouTube shorts, put on the TikToks and stuff. Like if you make the clips, it makes our job easier, especially my job, for just putting all the graphics and stuff on it just to put it up. But like, I've been going back to Twitch, and I've been having to clip stuff myself, and having the broadcast still there and not expiring or waiting for the YouTube stuff to then download the whole YouTube video. Because sometimes you guys stream for like let's say max like 2 hours. I have to download the whole 2 hours just to get a 30-second clip.
Right.
So in
Yeah,
order to save that, I've been using the Twitch clips and stuff, and they've improved their little clipping program. So yeah, like I've just been on top of it and doing what I can. but there's so much more we could do. And
Yeah,
my
dude,
and my
and
next goal is the streaming to both YouTube and Twitch at the same time for
Yeah, I feel
like
like
it
that
costs
would get like
nothing.
I feel like the audience we could get from that would be massive.
Oh, big time, big time.
yeah, and I suggested we should try to just do it was one of our cards. I was like, should we do this one on YouTube? And I thought people would be like excited for it. Everybody was just kind of like, nah. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I mean, there's definitely more people on YouTube than there are on Twitch, obviously. So like, to me, that kind of seemed like it made sense. I think the biggest challenge, I guess, would be watching, keeping an eye on both chats at the same time. I guess that's probably a lot of streamers' difficulty.
Nope.
Or is it got it has them
Uh,
both?
there's a way you could have them both. Yep.
That's incredible then. Yeah. So yeah, you've every question because I've definitely been pondering this for a while, but yeah, you've answered. And I've looked into it a little
Yeah.
bit, but yeah, you're answering. Of course, I should have just gone to you initially.
This is where I'm gonna show my little age. I say little because you know I'm not the oldest, but I've been around, especially on this platform a lot that we're on right now. I've been on Twitch for now 11 to 12 years.
That's remarkable, dude.
Like I've been doing stuff on it actively, so I know the TOS stuff and what they've been doing. I try to keep up to date with that stuff. I'm a streamer myself, so like I live on here. Like the TV part of Twitch TV, like this is my TV. Um, they used to, and people still have this mindset. They think that streaming to both platforms is against TOS. That's been done already. They already established like last year. Recently it was a TwitchCon event where they revealed more, but the previous one, TwitchCon event last year, they abolished that rule, so you can stream to both platforms at once. Technically, it's against TOS to have a visible combined chat together because they want you to be able to manage your chat, and they're basically not calling themselves accountable for anything that's said in the YouTube chat, so they want you
Gotcha.
to not show it on screen. That's fine. That's easy. You don't need the screen clutter. You don't need that stuff.
Yeah, we're not
You
using
know,
it anyways for
yeah,
visible
we're not
chat.
using it at all. We in the U.U.C, you guys stick to one scene. I want to up the production a little bit and have like a buffer, so when we're setting up matches, you guys have something to look at. You know, uh, the streaming on both platform things is another thing. I will break down everything to you one on one when we talk about it. But bro, you're gonna be amazed on how easy it is.
You know what I think is what I think it really kind of boils down to with a lot of this stuff we've been doing and why uh we're all kind of all in on this is because I think this really scratches that part of our brain where like literally every day with this shit we learn some new shit, and it's been like
Yeah,
that since we started the UUC, and it's like this has just been we're just been stubbing our toe over and over and over again, but it's like we are learning from every time we stub our toe, and it's almost kind of like martial arts in that regard, you know what I mean? Like we've started out not knowing shit, but it's like no, now we're actually
yeah,
knowing a little bit. But as soon as we know a little bit, then we realize we don't know shit. You know what I mean? And that kind of
yeah. It's the
keeps it fresh,
growth.
man.
It's the constant growth and seeing the growth. It's seeing like, oh, I'm not making the same mistakes I was back then, but then I still have so much more to learn. It's like you never stop learning, and if you do stop learning, you might as well be dead because what are you doing? You know what
Right,
I mean? Like
Exactly.
every day is a day to learn something,
right.
no
You
matter
just
how
every day
small
is
it
just
is.
eating fucking Cheetos and watching fucking Tonight Show. Like
Exactly.
is that your
Yeah.
life?
So I've been itching for stuff like this because this is like again what people we don't profit from this stuff, and like yeah we're using our time for this, but this, like you said, is scratching an itch. I've been waiting for something like this to have people come together to do something, to have my input to help them do something more. Like it's this is the ultimate itch scratcher right now, and everyone's kind of benefiting from it because we're seeing this stuff, and we haven't even seen the full outcome yet. Like we're not even back in the season yet, you know what I mean?
Right,
So
yeah,
like
I mean, and honestly, like nobody really even knows we're a thing yet, and I think largely because it was we've kept all of this stuff in house. We never did a public release with our mod. It was just like this is the mod that we're using for our particular season, and I think now we all feel confident enough, and like and we're at a place with obviously the stuff that Himoth discovered and everything, where it's like no, we feel obligated to kind of share this with everybody. And we want more people to come in and kind of be part of what we're doing because I said it's really hard to like most people just look at it like oh this is a mod or whatever. It's like dude, it's So much more than that. Like
The
we've got an
community.
entire community built around this. We've got an entire scene. We've got live events. Like this is
Yeah.
a whole ass thing that we're doing.
Yeah.
I've told people, some of my friends and stuff, who whether they're casual gamers or not, or casual viewers of stuff like this. One of my friends stopped by. I told him there's stuff going on Thursdays and Sundays. And he stopped by a couple times. His name is Slug, so shout out
Oh,
to
that's
Slug.
awesome.
He pops in and he because he watches boxing events, UFC events, and I told him what I was doing here. He's like, oh, that's cool, and then he tunes in sometimes, and he's like, yeah, and like he tells me about how he watched it. He talks about some of the guys I've been fighting, and just like people, we're a niche thing, but you start telling more people about it, it starts spreading little by little. Like it's entertaining as fuck, and it's almost arguably just as entertaining as a real event. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
dude. And
yeah,
when
sure,
you
it's
hear our
not.
reactions and shit, when these moments happen in these fights, dude, they're as genuine as it
Yeah.
fucking gets.
Hell yeah! Listen, if I'm there, it's gonna get bigger because I'm Bruce buffering the shit out of it.
Right, dude. Yeah.
If
What?
everyone
Your
just stops
commentary is
skipping the
next level.
cutscenes, if everyone stops skipping the cutscenes and lets Bruce talk, even if you don't hear him, don't worry, I'll talk.
We have
Introducing
our own
first,
Bruce
I'll
Buffy.
talk.
fighting out of the blue card. Like, come on, I want to do all that stuff, but you guys keep pressing it just to fight. I'm like, okay, all right, I get. There goes my speech. All right.
That's so funny. Well, guys, we're at about 56 minutes. I'll definitely try to keep it under an hour. Himoth, you got anything, any last things to add before we end this?
Actually, I do. While we were talking, I did some math. So, for this first full release, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, 9 new fully custom move sets. And the next full release, the next update, which is all the top 5 fighters, we're going to have 36 more. So that consists of
Jesus,
45 fully custom move sets. And then the update after that, which is going to be top 10 and legends, will be 37 more. So 45 plus 37, that should leave us with about 82 fully
Jesus Christ.
custom move sets in the game.
bravo, my
Man
friend. That
is
is
moving.
incredible.
He's a mad scientist. You're gonna hear laughing in the distance in your
It's
fucking
Dr.
dreams.
Himoth and Mr.
Yeah, it's gonna
Dr.
be
Was it
him
Dr.
laughing.
Jekyll and
Just
Mr. Hyde?
Yeah, Dr. Himoth
yeah.
and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah, Dr. Himoth and
We
Mr.
don't
Hyde.
say that name Hyde. We don't
Oh
say that
yeah,
name
yeah.
Hyde.
That was
Oh
a bad
yeah.
term.
That's
Yeah,
right.
He who
That's
shall
right. You're
Voldemort.
right.
Got it.
yeah.
Voldemort.
He's
But yeah,
Benoit. Not even Voldemort.
who? Arrow
Just Grub.
404.
You got anything, Skull or Infantry?
No, man, that was it. I said my piece. There's plenty more that growing to do to see from UUC, and all the presentation stuff. You guys are gonna see it change, and hopefully for the better. Let me know what you think and all the feedback and stuff that you see. Be vocal with everything. Don't worry, you won't hurt my feelings. Yeah, Skull, anything? That's a no.
I
Okay.
know.
Yeah,
I would say
Yeah.
that
Wait.
we got live spars coming. I
yes,
think at 5. So
Oh,
tune
yes.
okay.
in.
We're
You're going to
gonna
see
be
the
back here in
build.
about an hour for live spars.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So you
Okay.
guys will be able
Frank, the real
to
question
see.
is, what build are you going to use? The one with only champions update roster? Or should we give the top 5 a spin?
You know what? Let's do that because then if we're testing it live, it's a test, right?
Yeah,
You can see and
Yeah.
crack it live. And people do that. Some developers do that when they like showcase their game and say, "Oh, fuck, this needs some fixing."
you already have it on the Google Drive?
No. I sent the link up in Mod's channel. I can resend just the file.
Oh yeah, that's fine. However you want. Oh yeah, you did do that, didn't you? Yeah, that's fine. And I don't have to change anything with the textures or anything.
No. All you have to do is
Nope.
just plug in that game X and then just delete your content folder, and then
Perfect. Yeah.
all set.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's fine. That's what we'll rock with then. I can't wait to see some people using this shit.
And school, I think was either watching or overhearing the live sports we were doing in UFL earlier with like Dissy and Abbas. We were having a fun time.
Oh, dude, yeah, your old buddy Abbas. Frank says it's one of the best things he's ever played. Best mod.
Well, they
I
coming
thought you were
from
gonna say
Abbas,
me. I was
man.
about
That
to
means
say.
something.
I thought he was gonna say me. I was like, don't you dare.
Oh, he didn't mention your name.
I miss that guy. We just can't have him around. It's what I mean. It's like
It's,
yeah, he can.
I mean, we could do what like the UFL does with like Habibi and only have him be able to talk in the sign up channel.
No. He's gonna be gimped. If he ever came back, he'd be muted like completely. It was
Yeah,
gimped.
just man, it's just some
And he'd
people,
have
you
to
know.
like DM you his sign up.
We just talked about
I
having
am
growing
not
the
taking any
community. We don't want to
chances
scare
that
anybody
we're.
away.
That's just it,
That's a
man.
good
It's like
point.
Yeah.
I'm all for a good time, and it's like I'm far from a prude, you know what I mean? But it's like it gets to a point where people just start getting ridiculous. It's like when you start running off new people, you know, that's when we've got a
Mm-hmm.
problem. You know,
So
we want
just gotta
people.
keep the egos in check just a little bit and not scare people away,
Yeah,
please.
I think it would be cool as shit if we got a bunch of 14-year-old fucking kids that was like, yeah, I want to. This game's badass. It's my favorite game. I'm like, hell yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's have them in there, and we can't have idiots out there doxing people and that kind of shit. If we're gonna
Exactly.
foster that.
Yeah, no. Definitely not.
They're never
Well,
coming back.
everybody, yeah, thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us. And I mean, obviously we've got some exciting shit going down here, and you're gonna get to see some of that here in about an hour live on Twitch. And just come back right here, get you some popcorn or whatever the fuck it is you do, and yeah, if you want to play, yeah, just stop on in, man. We'll throw you in a match, no big deal. And
Yeah, unless you're
Yeah,
big.
I
yeah,
know I'll
no,
be competing. I know I'll be competing because
yeah,
I
Himoth's
love these
definitely
new
competing.
movesets.
Maybe
And if you're
Infantry will be
watching
around. I
this
don't know if
from a
Twisted will be around.
VOD, check out the UUC Discord, join, find out how to download or find out how to sign up and be a part of the UUC. And see you in the ring.
Yep, sounds great, guys. We'll
Yeah,
see
we'll
you all in a
probably.
little bit.
Yep. See you in a little bit.